Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back to the Nafeesa Dangor Show. It's definitely happening here this afternoon. We've been changing the way we think through clowning. We've been changing the way we look at the situation we're in with the COVID period by helping each other create the support structures with Sister Farida Cajee. But there's something that I found very important that we needed to tap on this afternoon. And let me tell you about this lady. It's about looking at those people with disabilities. And I think a lot of the time what happens is they get forgotten in the equation. Or should we say they don't get enough attention as such, where we can do a lot more for them. And this is where Sister Farida Cajee comes in. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's from Swaziland in the Northwest, the founder of Project Limbs, a below-elbow prosthetic 3D printed from waste plastic. Now, just remember, it's printed from waste plastic, which I think is phenomenal, and it's controlled by your brain. She recently won the Eskom Expo. I'm getting so excited here. This is ridiculous. The Eskom Expo Best Female Award, a gold medal, and the Special Award and Partial Bursary. But she also won a few awards overseas as well. And we're going to be chatting to her this afternoon about this phenomenal project. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
How are you doing this afternoon, Sister Farida? It's so nice having to chat. I got so excited, I even got fumbled in my words. It's so nice to see people doing things in spheres that I think need a lot more attention. So, Jazakallah for joining me on the Nafeesa Dangor Show this afternoon.
It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for choosing me to be on the show. I'm very excited about this.
You're excited, and I think I was so excited I forgot some of my words there, but I think we're more honored than just excited because I think your project is absolutely phenomenal. But tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
So I'm just your basic average girl. I just finished matric, so I'm waiting for my results, and then hopefully if I get good results, inshallah, I can carry on with the prosthetic and study medical orthotics and prosthetics.
Okay, so how did this begin? I mean, I know you had this project that you had to deal with, and then you decided to actually tap into this particular area.
So it all started with the Eskom Expo because I've been taking part in the expo for around 8 years now. And it started with a simple, innocent Google search to see what do we need in the health field, because I've always been interested in health science and, you know, doctors, medicine, all of those things. So it started as a simple Google search of what is needed. And like you said, the people with amputations don't get enough attention. And that's when I found out that, you know what, they go through so much physically and mentally, and they still have so many bills to pay and the hospital bills, and then they still have to get a prosthetic, which is more bills on them. So how can I make it better for them?
And, you know, as we know, prosthetics are ridiculously expensive. They go into the hundreds of thousands of rands. And for people to be able to afford that is very difficult, especially in the environment we're in. If you don't have a medical aid, it's really difficult. And I think a lot of people can't actually afford that. So it's so nice to think that you've actually tapped into that to see how you can create something that's really of good quality. But at the same time, the affordability factor is there for those people that are in that situation. And I mean, as we know, people that have these disabilities, they can't do much for themselves as such. And this actually changes the sphere and the type of space that they're in.
Yeah, the thing that really bothers me about the medical field is that everyone is about the money and no one is about actually helping their patients. So it was so easy for me to sit in the comfort of my own home and think up this idea and build it using daily toys that my nieces and nephews play with. I used it to build this prosthetic. And to think that me, someone who's not as bright as you might think, can do this in my own home, but people who've studied for years haven't thought about this. It's shocking. It's actually disappointing.
Yeah, and if you look at the statistics with the amount of people that face disabilities, it's phenomenal. I mean, you find people that they were born with it, and others that had gotten into this type of space from accidents as such, and now they're sitting and they're so codependent on somebody as opposed to being independent. And the reason I found this project so phenomenal is because it actually gives them their independence.
It really does. With the research I've conducted, the prosthetic can also be used to do daily activities such as driving or holding your own baby. The guy that was used for research, unfortunately, I can't mention much about him, but he got to hold his baby and hug his baby for the first time after years, and
Wow.
that was phenomenal. Like to see
No,
that
definitely.
something I did can make you that happy. It's amazing.
Now, what I find phenomenal is that you took this particular prosthetic is 3D printed, but you're using a plastic Coke-like bottle and bags to actually make the prosthetic.
So that idea came in because of the town I'm in. It's a very small town. We don't have the greatest municipality. We don't have the greatest, garbage disposal and so on. We have an open landfill. It's quite bad. So for me, when I walk in town and I see all the dirt, I'm the type of person who doesn't want to see it, because right other side my town is a heritage site. We have the fossil skulls that were found millions of years ago. So it's to me, to come into a town and see so much dirt, it just made me sad. And that's when I said, you know what, if 3D printing is plastic, why can't I just use the plastic we already wasted? And I did some research and I've seen that people are actually doing this, but then why aren't they using it for prosthetics?
Now, you see, you took a brain stimulation game, right? What's I think is mind blowing is that you're using an EEG headset and coding the brain signals that get read from the user into movements that get carried out, and this entire prosthetic is literally controlled by the brain.
Yes, it's actually much more simple than it sounds. So the EEG headset just reads your brain signals, and it's sent using interface and Bluetooth to the coded app, which sort of decodes the signals into a movement, and the movement is then carried out by the servo inside the prosthetic.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, what made you come up with this idea? You were playing with this game, and what sort of game were you playing? And how did this concept about joining? Because a lot of the times you find people will find a prosthetic, they'll say, "No, we'll just attach it to your leg," and then you got to go for physio and try and figure it out. I mean, and that's what has been happening in a lot of the cases, right? So, like, what made you bring this EEG headset into play with coding it and bringing the brain signals? Because I find that phenomenal, because a lot of the times when you lose a limb or something, you feel as though that particular area of your body is deadbeat and it's done with.
Yes, I understand. But I think for me, it was just thanks to the Eskom Expo, because you walk around and you see so many other kids with so many amazing projects. And a lot of the times I saw robotic projects, and that got me thinking, like, why am I still doing research-based projects if I can build things? And I had all of these things at home because my brother and my sisters, like, we different. We play with RC cars and electronics. So
you tech
for us,
buttons.
yeah, for us it was normal. If you're stripping a TV, it's normal because we all do that in our family. So it was just a normal brain stimulation game, those that you download from the App Store, Play Store, and basically it will give you hard puzzles and so on to train your brain. So all I did was I took the brain signals from that. How much do you need to concentrate per game or at each different game, and how much did you relax at the easier levels? And then I just recorded that using an EEG, which I had to buy. I must admit, I didn't have that at home. So I just recorded that with an EEG, and I thought, okay, if they can use your brain signals to do other things, why can't I use it to build a hand?
and that's where it all started. But where are you heading to with this? Because I mean, this is such a phenomenal project, and having to win an award, it obviously doesn't stop there.
So with all of the awards that I've won, I kind of made it clear that I have to go into prosthetics, because without me taking this project further, no one else is going to take it further. And I won't can do that unless I have more experience. I just have matric. That's all I have. I need, some engineering in my life and some more studies for that. So with all of the competitions and so on, I've realized that the one degree that I can really opt for is medical orthotics and prosthetics, and that's offered only at Durban University of Technology and Tshwane University of Technology. So inshallah, that's where I'll end up.
Wow, that's amazing. But what sort of corporate environment do you not want to actually get this going in the corporate environment and start helping people out already? Or do you feel that you still need to work on that prosthetic that you've created?
So for now, the prosthetic is at its limit, at my limit, actually. There's nothing more I can personally do. It needs more brains, more professional brains to see what we can do to make it better. But my main concern is if I get it into the corporate, let's say the corporate of prosthetics and orthotics, the main concern is, will they have the same mindset as me to keep it as cheap as possible so that everyone can afford it, or will they see this as a way to make profit off everyone? So that's the main concern.
So it's having to sit and basically work on a business, should we say, layout and decide as you go further. I mean, because I think it's something phenomenal and it shouldn't be left there. There's so many people that can actually benefit from this without having to pull out a fortune. And as I was saying, I mean, if you look around in South Africa, there's so many people that are in this situation that can't afford it, and they just sit and the disability holds them back from moving forward in many directions.
Gee. Like I said, the main concern would be finding someone who has the same end goal as me, the end result, because the prosthetic started as a way to help people. Now if it goes into corporate and then you selling it for 150% profit, then it's of no use.
I agree with you. So what do you see yourself doing going forward besides the degree and having to move this forward? I mean, as you were saying, having to find obviously the right person to take this to be able to help you take it forward, but not, of course, at a high price.
So if I ignore the degree for now, then I'll be working on the prosthetic with a few other people as they cross my path and I cross theirs, and we'll see how much further we can take it. Maybe just before the level of bulk production, and then find a way. But now with COVID, the problem is to import the EEG headsets is a problem. So the import and export is not as efficient as it used to be before COVID. So we might have to wait much longer if we plan on doing bulk research as well.
Yeah, so Farida, you're saying the EEG headset is not available in South Africa. It has to come from overseas.
G.
So I think that is something that's a challenge for you at this point in time. And of course, there can't be any rollout as such, even if you wanted to do it with an NPO or somebody that would be able to help you roll that out as such.
Yeah, the problem lies with the importing.
Right. What actually makes you feel that you can do for, as far as these people are concerned, to change their lives besides just the prosthetic alone? I mean, coming up with this idea, I think, was phenomenal. Has it been something where you've interacted with people, or have you been just looking around in your area and looking at the types of disabilities people have and saying, you know what, these people need the help?
I've actually, since Project LUM started, I've been in contact with so many people with different amputations, leg amputations, full arm amputations, finger amputations. So if we ignore Project LUMS and we take the prosthetic alone, I think I've come up with a much cheaper way to do it for everyone, any type of amputation, even if it doesn't need the mind control part of it. So using the waste plastic, it's basically free to print the prosthetic if you ignore the mind control part. So using waste plastic and 3D printing, you can print almost anything for anyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. What advice would you give to people out there, and what sort of support structure can they help you with?
So far, I have contacted a lot of the departmental sectors, but no one seems to want to help out. I think with COVID, the cash funds are low and there isn't much help they can offer. And then some advice would just be to never give up, because I was always winning at the Eskom Expo. I was always getting bronze or silver. No one was really believing in the project. And then all of a sudden comes 2020, and now I'm representing South Africa at three international science fairs, and I finally got my gold medal at the Eskom Expo. So I think after 8 years, it's just keep going at it. Don't ever give up.
That's amazing. What is it that drives you? I mean, because I see you and your family love to get involved. Like as you were saying earlier, you pull the TVs apart and things like that. What is it that gives you that drive and ambition every day?
It's a small town. We have nothing else to do. So if you're not going to be inquisitive and curious about everything, then you're just going to be sitting on your bed watching TV.
Okay, I agree with you there. What does this mean for you? I mean, having to come up with something, I think this is absolutely phenomenal. And this is why we needed to have it on the show, is to bring attention to it. So maybe if there's somebody out there that can possibly help you take it further, then that's just the whole idea. But what does this actually mean for you?
I think throughout the whole 3-4 years of Project LUMS, it was just the feedback. The feedback made me so happy about figuring this out and, inventing this. Like even just before the show started, I got a message on Instagram from someone who saw me on Snapchat, and he's all the way in America, but he wants to know how can he meet me so that I can make a prosthetic for him personally. And just getting feedback from everyone, that really it makes me feel like I've done my job, and I've met certain goals, and now I can be content with myself. Because before Project LUMS, I suffered a lot. With the school I was in, it was a very racist school, a lot of bullying going on, so I had a lot of stress and anxiety, depression at sometimes. And then Project LUMS happened, and then everything just went up. My feelings, my emotions got better. I didn't have any negative thoughts, started praying a lot more, and it just made everything better.
Yeah, that's so true. What message would you like to leave us with this afternoon?
Just don't give up. Keep going, keep fighting, don't give up.
I agree with you. Your perseverance has brought about something absolutely phenomenal. And I'd like to wish you nothing but all of the best of success and encouragement going forward with this. And I think you're doing a phenomenal project. And I'm hoping that through this sphere, somebody takes notice and helps you get involved in making that difference. Jazakallah so much for joining us this afternoon. We really are privileged that you took out the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
The pleasure was ours. You take care, stay safe, and of course, keep going on that project, because we definitely going to be following you to see what's happening in the future.
I will do that.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. That was Sister Farida Cajee, definitely a very inspirational person. I mean, at such a young age, just having to finish matric and then come up with such a phenomenal project says a lot. And I think there's people that should take notice of it. I mean, because it's going to help people with disabilities actually become independent. We've had a phenomenal show this afternoon with people trying to entice us into different places and spaces and make us understand that there are support structures out there. We're not alone. And there's one thing that stood out for me that I want to leave you with, and it was said by Nelson Mandela. It says, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to others and the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. And I think that is so apt. It's all these people going out there, making differences, creating the support structures, and standing together. And I think that's what it's about. So for myself and the team, we want to thank you so much for joining us and coming into the Nafeesa Dangor Show and allowing us to entice you into a better space. And we look forward to chatting to you tomorrow afternoon. From myself and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a lovely one.